People say that they will die for Jesus, but why not live for him?
Yeah, I like that how it says, I have a brother that says, I will die for my kids. It's almost the same, but I said, why don't you live for your kids, my brother?
We'll do a couple quotes and then we'll close. So we'll kind of make this like the lightning round. So I read something on Facebook where it said, some of you guys say that you'll die for Jesus, but why not just live for him now? What are your initial thoughts about that statement? I find a lot of truth to be in that. We could go with the ladies first.
Ladies first.
I think that I didn't know how. I didn't know how to live for Jesus. I didn't know how to give myself for him. And not just that, but I just didn't know who he was. I knew about him, but I didn't know who he was. And I think if anything, the only way that people will understand that question is to know him. So we have work to do. We have a mission, and is to show people, teach people, minister to them, but most importantly, love on them, and then that question will make sense. Because if you ask somebody who's just walking, to the street or whatever it might be, and they don't have that relationship with the Lord, they're not going to understand that question. I would not understand that question.
Or statement. Yeah.
Exactly. I wouldn't understand it. So if anything, I think it comes to a relationship with the Lord. It comes to knowing who he is, what he did, and what he's already done for us, what he's gone through, what we've learned, and is maturity, and maturity. I think that would definitely help answer that.
So some of y'all will die for Jesus. Why not live for him now while you still have breath?
I think that people think that when they say, I will die for Jesus, it's a hero type of thing. But Jesus has already died. He doesn't need us to die for him. He needs us to live for him and show people the compassion that he had, the love that he had for people. So I feel that people get it twisted because they think that if we die for Jesus, that we're definitely going to heaven. No, we are supposed to, greater work shall we do. But if we're dead, we're not doing anything. Exactly. So to me, I feel that is a way of giving up. That's a way of saying, I'm done. I'm not going to do anything else. I don't want to put the work in. I want to take the easy way out. So like, for God I live, for God I die. Yes. But for God I want to live. For God I want to show his people how Jesus was while he was on this earth. So I think that taking the I will die for him, it just like I'm trying to be a hero.
Yeah, I like when you say that. I'm more thinking like I'm gonna live for him until the day that I die. Mm-hmm. So with that, it's like, and we always talk about this. It's like your fruit. I'm gonna show you can get more breakthrough from people from them seeing your fruit and walking it out, and knowing that you're gonna stay walking it out until the day you die. That's kind of what I get from that. It's like it's both. You walk it and you live it and you die, for him. That's just.
Yeah, I like that how it says, I have a brother that says, I will die for my kids. It's almost the same, but I said, why don't you live for your kids, my brother? Why don't you take care of your kids? How come we don't do this for your kids? Why do you want to die, bro? You ain't nothing when you're dead to your kids. It's like us. We got to put in that work for God. He got us here for a reason. And he wants us to push out the love that he had for us, dying for us. And that's what the same thing we got to do for our kids. I want to live for my kids. I don't want to die for my kids. I mean, if it came in that situation, I got to jump a bullet. I'm going to do that. Yeah, of course. But I want to live for them. I want to see them prosper. I want to teach them love, just like Jesus wants us to hit the streets, show love, give praise his name. Like, especially where we come from, it's like, there wasn't that much love. There was no love in the street. There was nothing. And that's why he put us and he molded us into the people we are now. So we could live for him. So we could go out there and say, hey, brother, I was there too. I was in the dark. Let me show you what Jesus did to me, because I'm living for him now, and you could live for him too. You don't have to die to drug. You don't got to die to alcoholism, depression, suicidal thoughts. You don't have to. That's being dead in your head too. That's being in the cage. That's being in a prison that the devil got you in. And those chains got to be broke so you could live for Jesus.
That's a good word. That's good. Amen. I'm going to say this a little differently. I got to die to myself daily so I can live for Jesus. And that's the problem. I'm going to go out and live and be a little controversial, but I believe like 95% of Christians don't do that. They don't live for Jesus. They say they do, but they don't. And I've been guilty of that for a long, long time. I'm just not trying to really live it out. I mean, I'm just be honest. It's just it's hard. I got to do it daily, and I still fail sometimes. But like we don't do that. We don't die to ourselves. Like we want what we want. You know, somebody snaps at me, I want to respond. I mean, can you really respond? That's living for Jesus. Somebody offends you, can you still love them? Can you forgive them right there? We're gonna hold on for 2 or 3 days. Okay, then I'll be mad for 3 days, and then I'll let it go. That's not living for Jesus. So if you die to yourself, you can live for Jesus. And that's something I'm still trying to figure out, man, on a daily. I'm better than what I was, but that's where we got to be at, man. We got to die to ourselves so we can live for Jesus.
I agree. Anyone before?
We can't go and preach the gospel and make disciples if we die. We got work to do, you know. We are the hands and feet, and we are the salt and the light. What good is the salt if it loses its flavor, you know? So yeah, to live as Christ and to die as gain. But he's called us to go. The Great Commission, you know, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. So we got work to do. Yeah. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. So we got work to do.
You could be lost, but now you're found.